Could this be one of the earliest recorded instances of creepy clowns documented via photography? Clowns aren't technically supposed to be scary, but this group proves otherwise. Though Facebook might be relatively new, taking embarrassing photographs that you might regret later has been en vogue for about as long as cameras have been around, and this photograph is proof. It's really easy to forget just how small you are compared to everything else out there in the world. Nothing proves that more than taking a small boat out into the ocean, only to spot a giant sea creature underneath you. Yikes. When a family sits down at the dinner table in order to capture a special moment on film, the last thing they expect is to look at that photo later and tremble in fear. Can you imagine getting this film developed and seeing this ghastly sight? It's all fun and games until the kids get into Daddy's special mask collection. But seriously, at what point in time did the makers of these masks think that they were anything other than traumatizing? Most people would instinctively chalk this up to Photoshop, but if you look closely, you can easily see the edges of the latex masks covering these people's faces. Now the only question remains, why? And is anyone else freaked out by the matching outfits? Right up until the 1960s, Indigenous Australians were legally considered animals, which opened the door for brutal and inhumane treatment like the kind depicted in this photograph. It's hard to point out the strangest thing about this photograph. Not only is the presence of a cigarette unnerving, but this child is actually wearing a monocle while lighting up. And let's not talk about that garish outfit. Soviet Dr. Leonid Rogozov was on an expedition in a remote part Antarctica in 1961 when he realized he was suffering from appendicitis and would die if his appendix wasn't removed. As the only doctor on the expedition, he had to perform the surgery on himself. At first glance, this seems like a dingy photograph taken during a rehearsal for a school play, but then you notice that the figure's face is covered with an eerie hood. If this is a play, it's not one we'd want an encore for.